everyone. Here I am to give you some information about the new moon in Pisces, which is going to occur on the 6th of March 2019. It is a very important moon because I have called it, and many other astrology talk about it as the moon of the ending of our illusion. It is a very specific time also because tonight, especially in India, they celebrate a very important feast, which is called the Maha Shivaradri, which is the feast where Shiva, one of the Trinity of the Vedic tradition, supports the ending of ignorance and the ending of darkness before the new astrological year starts. The next full moon, which is going to happen on the 21st of March, will coincide with the spring solstice. So it's a big new beginning, and this new moon, the one that we are going to experience and already feel, because we always start to feel the moon 4 days before, up to 4 days after the lunation, is going to represent a time of introspection, reflection, and then also sometimes confusion, but in order to take a new step, or let's say the right step in our life. Pisces is related is associated to feet in the human body, so this is why it's about the choice, where we walk and how we walk, and then which is the energy that we are going to carry through in the year to come. I've said many times that what happened at this time of the year is going to be extremely important for where we are going to be by the end of the year, and in order to plant the seeds for the new, for who we truly want to be. New moons are about planting the seed. Full moons are about endings. So we are here, it appears to be an ending, but it's actually a very important time of planting a seed, planting an energy. Let's look together at the numerological aspect of this new moon in Pisces, because this new moon in Pisces happens on the 6th of the 3rd. The 6th, I also mentioned last time, I think, or the time before, that 6 is the number of man. 6 is the number because man was created on the 6th day of the creation, and then 6 is the number of incompletedness, is the number of on one level incompletedness, because man is not complete without God, but it also the completeness of the time of sorrow, because 6 is associated to the 6 days of work. According to God stated that a command that man has to work for 6 days. So in order to be connected to him on the 7th, so is also a completion of a time of sorrow, an ending of a time of sorrow. And is also the completion of a time of slavery, because if you remember, I mentioned before that in the Jewish tradition, men were could be slave for were in a state of slavery for about 6 years, and on the 7th year they were released. So is the end of a slavery where the lower nature was holding or holds ourself, in order to so that the soul can become a master in our own life. So 6 is a time of weakness, completion on one level, weakness by being ourselves, completion by reaching the end, and 3, which is the number of the month, is a number related to time. The number 3 appears 467 times in the Bible, and it means also completeness. It's not the same, it's not as complete as the 7 years, but it means that. So many times 3 was related to time, to the concept of time, because Jesus prayed 3 times in the Garden of Gethsemane before his arrest. There were 3 hours of darkness before Jesus was he died on the cross, from 6 to 9. From the 6 to the 9 hours. It is the number Jesus was dead for 3 days and 3 nights before he was resurrected. 3 people witnessed Jesus' transfiguration, John, Peter, and James. And there are also 3 gifts given by God to Israel, which was the gift of the law, the gift, the 10 Commandments, the gift of the land, the promised land, and the gift of the calling, because they were called as the people of God. So it's really about a big transformation. And 63 in the game of the goose is the last square. Before the 64th square, we talk about the goose becomes a swan, so which is about transforming, changing consciousness. So also 63 means the voice of the Lord, and then also the joy of the Lord is your strength. So it's really about leaving behind the bondage of self, and also in referring to the episode of the marriage of Cana, Jesus converted the waters of 6 jars into wine. So it's about the marriage. The marriage with the soul replaces the marriage of slavery. Slavery. 16.3 is a 9, and 9 is about another on another level, divine completeness. Is about change. Patience is about meditation. It relates in the esoteric tarot cards to the hermit, which is about digesting, going within, is a introspection, so that we can check if we have worked through every single pebble of our past, so that we can start something completely new. So it represents the possibility also of salvation. And when we mean salvation, we mean going back to a whole, to being a whole, to integrity, to being who we truly are. And then the 93 coming from the 9 and the 3 coming from the year is about cutting the veil of illusion. So that 93 is a 12, so we can get to a divine order. So it is really something, the whole situation that brings something new, an ending and something new, and also delivers a decision. 9, 6 and 3 is 9, is associated to the letter Tet in the Bible, in the Hebrew alphabet. The letter Tet means serpent, and all means the light, the hidden light, which means that whatever happens is something hidden is about to come through. And just to say, for those of you who are interested also in my new CD, we just did, Emiliano, Toso and I, we just did a CD, questo logo di stelle, which means in the starry place, where we have the vibration, the sound vibration of the 22 Hebrew letters, and a meditation also in English about working with this letter within our body. going back to what I was saying, the nine is also associated to the nine fruits of God and the 9 gifts of God. So it's about achieving and ending, reaching something for a big shift. And that is really about completion, ending, is really about a change of state, a new energy moving through. So going back to the moon, from the astrological point of view, this moon happens at 15 degrees 47 minutes in Pisces. When we have a new moon, the moon and the sun are at the same degree. What is Pisces, new moon in Pisces, is the moon, as I said before, is the moon just before the end of the year, and is the moon that introduces that shifts, also supports our shifting consciousness. In fact, what I was sharing before about the celebration of Shiva in India is really about cutting the veil of illusion, of darkness and ignorance. And Shiva is preparing this cutting the veil. In fact, in the Hindu tradition, this moon happens at the star, is related to a star which is called Bhadrapada, which is a star that elevates consciousness, is associated to death and rebirth and the cutting of the veil of illusion, and is also symbolized by a coffin led to cremation. So it's about a purification happening before the year comes to an end, so that we can start afresh. What is an illusion? An illusion is a wrong perception. The word Maya in the ancient language means power, magic. So it's the power given to a perception to become a spiritual a reality in such a way that we are completely deceived by it. So Maya comes from the unconscious. Maya comes from what is hidden, what we have denied, our fears, our monsters within, our old belief system that most of the time we're not aware of. And then this illusion is also related to Pisces, because Pisces is, in the traditional astrology, is associated to hospital, retreats, convent, prison, jail, is associated to being a prisoner of something, a slave of something, but it also associated in the esoteric astrology to resurrection, to freeing the soul from the bondage of the personality. So it's about the two fishes which are connected, are linked to each other through a rope. They finally become one. And then there is actually, in the ancient teaching, it says that there is the marriage on the coming together of the personality and the soul, so the form, and then that keeps us captive, and the light that is really associated to who we truly are. So it's really about leaving the crucifixion of matter to rise in consciousness. So in order to do that, Pisces is very clear about it. It says that we need to detach to all the illusion that we had. We need to transcend duality, and we need to move from negativity to being soul-centered, from clairvoyance to spiritual perception. This is what also Dwal Kul, in the teaching of Alice, in the books of Alice Bailey, was saying, is about moving from selfishness to selflessness, is about moving from self-pity to divine understanding. It's really about detaching from our self, from our personal condition and environment, in order to identify ourselves with the soul. So, as I said before, Pisces is associated to the feet. So we need to have a time of introspection, meditation, because we need to really become aware or about the direction to take. And the Sabian symbol associated to this new moon is, in the quiet of his study, a creative individual experiences a flow of inspiration. So which is really about learning to rely only on our inner source, our inner guidance, and trust our inner strength. This it's about learning to listen to our own heart. This moon will be very specific, because it will be conjunct Neptune, Vesta, and Vulcan. And also, even if it doesn't really create a specific aspect with the moon, we will also have the entrance of Uranus in Taurus, and also the retrogradation of Mercury from the 5th of March to the 28th of March. So what is this all going to happen to create? Neptune is will be 16 degrees, 1609. So it's about the falling of the tower. Neptune is the god of waters because it's in Pisces, and then is about dissolving our illusions, so all the waters, and also supporting the attunement to the higher waters, to the high feeling, is a sort of an emotional attunement to the heart, to the cosmos, to the divine, and is really distributing all the aspect of the personality, and it will make it happen because in a very forceful way, because Neptune is a force beyond our control, is not comprehensible to our mind, and is actually, it urges to escape from all limitations. So the only thing we can do is to surrender to it, is really to allow it to happen, so that we can dissolve the old karmic patterns. The 12th house, the house of Pisces, 12 is also the ending of the zodiac, to re-establish the divine order, the cosmic order. And the 12th house is also the house of unresolved karma. So it's about dissolving all the illusion about a particular area of life, and is also about what is really the true reality. Vesta, because also, Neptune is divine grace, so it's really the presence of God, feeling the presence of God. Vesta is an asteroid, and a goddess, is the goddess of purgation. She's purifying everything, but also she's also strengthening the inner flame, the inner spiritual flame, and is going to support us to detach from all the outer attraction, away from the outer world, in order to go within and listen to the inner flame. Vulcan, which is going to be at 19 degrees 20, is going to break the chain of the form, so that all the past patterns that are no longer needed. As I said before, Mercury, what is going to happen with Mercury here, because Mercury is at 29 degrees Pisces. Mercury is the 29th degree is a critical degree, so it's going to support us, because Mercury is very airy, it flies, but here, because it's going to Pisces, it's going into the depths, and Pluto is going to support the sextile with Pluto, and Saturn are going to support this transformation, because Pluto is bringing out what from the depths of the self, what needs to be seen, and then Saturn will give the because they're actually in sextile with the moon, support the reality check, the patience, this discipline to let go of what is no longer needed, what is not really working properly, in order to have a new approach. So this Mercury at 29 degrees Pisces is going to expand our view. And the most important thing is that we don't resist, but we feel it as a blessing. It's really, and Uranus, I'm going to show you here. The Uranus will create a beautiful square. You see this red square with the North Node, the South Node, and Pallas Athena, and Uranus is here. Uranus will enter Taurus, will change matter, will restructure matter, because Taurus matter is an earth sign. So the two nodes represent the past and the future, the karma, the karmic pattern and the dharma, the new way. And Pallas Athena, which is the asteroid associated and a goddess also, is the wisdom of the inner vision. It's going to direct our experience of where we have to go, what we have to do. Another little aspect is related to Lilith. Normally Lilith is considered to be a negative, the black moon, a negative aspect. Actually here she's going to support the Sabian symbol of she's at 23 degrees Aquarius. So she's asking the key, in esoteric astrology, Lilith is the way out, the only doorway that is left open in order to go into a new life, a new direction. So here she's saying that we need to overcome our passion and we need to detach. So it's again supporting our process, in the process of detachment and letting go of the illusion. And Chiron, which is going to be a 0 degree 54 in Aries, is related to the Sabian symbol, is an impulse to be, is about the emergence of new possibilities of consciousness. So all is asking us to go beyond our intellect, leaving the mind behind, letting go of the old, and then trusting the inner by going in it through meditation, prayer, listening. By the way, if any of you is interested from the 2nd to the 7th of April, I've organized a course, meditation and concentration, actually 2 courses, meditation and concentration part 1 and 2 in the south of Italy, at the place where Archangel Michael appeared, where we're going to connect with this energy and support us in receiving the messages from nature. English translation is already available, so it's already put into place. So should you be interested, please contact the school office. The address is here, so you will have all the information. I just want to end with the affirmation that a quote of Kabir, which says, and which is for me is really representative of the energy of this moon, this new moon in Pisces. Just throw away all thoughts of imaginary things and stand firm in which you are. So wishing you a wonderful night of Shiva, Shivaradri. Wishing you the light, supporting, letting go of the old and the attaching. Stand firm, watch, don't get trapped, and allow your illusion to be completely dissolved, as Neptune is doing a great work, and the next few weeks will be very important for this new beginning that is about to come. Have a lovely night, and thank you for listening. Bye for now. Bye bye.